right. Hey, everybody. It's Mrs. Somick here for your Thursday reading lesson. Hard to believe we're almost through our first week of school already. Now, remember, yesterday we talked about just sort of introducing this whole thing called a main idea. Okay. Well, what is a main idea? Well, we took some notes on it. We first started kind of watching a vocabulary video there. That was kind of fun to see. And what that video was showing us is that the main idea is what the story is mostly about. So I said it's two questions you can ask yourself when you're trying to figure out what is that big idea is who and what are we talking about? Well, in the first part of that little song and story they shared with you is the who were the bears, right? And what did we learn about the bears? Well, we learned that they were good hunters. And they went on to other details, specifically of how do we know they were good hunters? They had sharp teeth, right? They had sharp claws, okay? Those were the reasons, the supporting details to help show that they were good hunters. Now, I gave you 5 clues. Now, if you remember, we've written those down in our packets. Remember in the packet that we had yesterday, we just filled in the top portion. So what were those 5 clues? Like we said, what did you just read about? Okay, that's the first question you should ask yourself. What did you just read about? The title. The title is going to give you your topic. The title is very important to take note of. Look at your pictures. Okay, what are the pictures that the author has included? Those are important. Look for words that are repeated over and over. Those are going to be your clue words. And then, of course, last or not least, sometimes the author will give you the first or the last sentence will repeat what the main idea is. Okay, not always, but a lot of times it can be found there. Now, I hope you remember you have already included those 5 in your notes from yesterday. Now, today, this is important. I have a thinking map. I love, love, love thinking maps. Okay, thinking maps help us organize our thoughts. I have a thinking map called a circle map. And it's going to help us brainstorm here, okay? It's going to help us try to come up with some reasons on a book that I have for you today. And the book is called A Pig Parade is a Terrible Idea. Well, that's the title. So already that's going to help us figure out, that title is important. And I put it right here in the center of my circle map. Your job, listeners, you are going to ask yourself, well, why is a pig parade a terrible idea? What are those reasons? You're listening for the reasons that are going to support that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clue you in. There are 5 reasons in this book. I want you just to try to fill in as many as you can in your circle map while you're listening to me read it to you today. All right, so you should be turned to page 2 of your packet, pencil in hand, ready to go. And when you write your reasons, just put it around the circle map, okay? Just a few words. They don't have to be long sentences, but just a couple hinting words as we go through. If you need to pause the video, if you take a little longer to write, that's fine. Pause it and then keep going. Okay, you guys ready? All right. So as I already told you, a pig parade is a terrible idea. And it's by Michael Ian Black, one of my favorites. And these pictures are so amazing that I'm going to do my best to show them to you and back away. So I'm going to read it and then I'll show you the picture, okay? Like most children, you have probably thought to yourself at one time or another, I bet a pig parade would be a lot of fun. And yes, a pig parade certainly sounds like fun. It's even fun to say. Go ahead, say pig parade a couple times. It's fun, right? After all, what could be more fun than gathering a few hundred pigs together for a grand parade and then watching them proudly march together in perfect formation down the finest boulevard of your hometown? Look at that. It does look like a lot of fun. The only problem is a pig parade is a terrible idea. Now, here come our reasons. Get ready. For one thing, pigs hate to march. They prefer to snuffle, which is kind of like walking with your nose. Snuffling is fine when trying to find leftover apple skins and acorns around the barnyard, but snuffling is simply an inappropriate way to conduct yourself along a parade route. Mm. So they absolutely hate to march. Why? Because they prefer to snuffle. We can't snuffle in a parade. That is just one reason that a pig parade is a terrible idea. Look at that close up. Also, pigs absolutely refuse to wear majorette uniforms. Majorette uniforms. Even if you are able to find enough majorette uniforms for all of your pigs, which is a very difficult job in and of itself, just try getting those hundreds of pigs to put them on. They're not going to wear a majorette uniform. Could you imagine trying to put a pig in a majorette uniform? I'd love to see it. Perhaps they consider majorette uniforms unflattering. Nonsense. Everybody looks sharp in a majorette uniform, even pigs, especially pigs. But when you try explaining that to them, they just look as if you are speaking a language they do not understand. I tell you what, that is one unhappy pig. They will not do it. Again, a pig parade is a terrible idea. You cannot have a parade without floats, right? Well, forget it. Pigs don't care about floats. Pigs don't care about all the time and energy you spent creating a Three Little Pigs float or Wilbur the Pig from Charlotte's Web float. In fact, the only floats pigs care about are root beer floats, which they love. So another reason, besides the majorette uniforms, they don't care about floats. Then there's this matter of music. Pigs have horrible taste in music. If you give a group of pigs marching band instruments to play, do you think that they will play good-spirited marching band music? No, they will not. They will play sad, sad country music ballads with titles like My Tears Are Wet Because My Mud's Gone Dry, and I Just Want to Plop Into the Bucket of Slop. That kind of music is fine for slow dancing and hoedowns, but it is not appropriate for a parade. So another reason pigs are not good for parades, they have terrible taste in music. They only want to play sad country songs. Face it, a pig parade is a terrible idea. Finally, here comes our last one. There are the giant balloons to consider. Everyone knows that giant balloons are the best part of a parade. Well, who do you think is going to hold all those balloons to keep them from flying away? The pigs, right? Wrong. Even if pigs wanted to hold the balloons instead of finding filthy puddles on the street to lie in, they couldn't do it. Because while pig hooves are good for digging up wild mushrooms, when it comes to holding giant parade balloons, they are simply not up to the job. So we have to have balloons in a parade, but a pig cannot hold that balloon. And what happens when balloons go unattended? They bump into buildings or simply drift off into outer space, which would be fine for Martians, but awful for those of us trying to enjoy a pig parade here on Earth. So when you consider, here we go, we're wrapping this up. Remember, there's different reasons we're wrapping up at the end of the story. So when you consider snuffling, the refusal to wear majorette uniforms, the disinterest in pig theme literary floats, pigs' preference of weepy country ballads, and their utter lack of discipline regarding proper balloon handling, it should be absolutely, completely, and totally clear that a pig parade is a terrible idea. A panda parade, on the other hand, would be fantastic. All right. I hope you guys love the pig parade as a terrible idea. So let's get started here. And I'm just going to kind of help you out with just a few. I don't want to give them all away because I want to see what you guys came up to in your Google Classroom. Now, I'm going to slide my document camera down here, and I'm going to flip my image so we can look at this on together. All right, here we go. So if you remember, our main idea, it was repeated all the way through. A pig parade is a terrible idea. Now, what were some of the reasons that she listed in here? One of the very first things that I read about is, and I'm just going to put a little dot, a bullet, as I'm making a list around, okay? Pigs hate, I don't like that word, but that's what it said in the book, hate to march. Remember, they don't like to march. Do you remember what they like to do? Do you remember that word? They prefer to snuffle. So maybe you have a little bit more detail in there. They prefer to snuffle and not march. So if you haven't gotten that reason filled in, you can go ahead and fill that into your circle map now. All right. The next one. Try getting those pigs in a uniform. Are they going to wear that majorette uniform, the band uniform? Oh, no, no, no. Okay, and they use that word refuse. So pigs refuse to wear a uniform. That was the next reason here. Now, there were 3 other reasons, and I want you to try to think of when you're going back through, what were 3 other reasons that you could have filled into that circle map? I'm going to let you guys work on that on your own. If you need to go back and listen to the story again, just rewind the story and listen to it again. There were 3 other reasons in there. Okay? Now, when you have finished that, what I'm going to have you do is you're going to go into your Google Classroom and choose your favorite reason. What was your favorite reason in the circle map? And you're going to turn that in for your Google Classroom assignment today. All right? Can't wait to see what you guys come up with as we listen to Pig Parade today. What was your favorite reason a pig parade is a terrible idea? All right, make sure you submit that and turn that in your Google Classroom. Until next time.